Welcome to the Charter course. Purpose. The purpose of this course is to lead the project manager through the charter creation process. Audience. The course is designed for staff and contractors with minimal experience in creating charters. There are 4 objectives. Build core competencies in creating a charter. Provide project manager with a tool to educate the team. Establish the authority of the project manager. Agree to metrics. Charter purpose. The charter is a crucial document that establishes a framework for the project and the working relationship between the sponsor and the project manager. The charter is important on many levels. The charter makes a project official by formally defining and authorizing the project. The charter creates a formal agreement between the sponsor and the project manager on the nature of the project, including scope, objectives, constraints, critical success factors, governance structures, and roles and responsibilities. The collaborative process of creating a charter is an opportunity for the project manager to take a leadership role and establish authority by working with stakeholders to build a common vision. A well-defined charter eliminates confusion about the goals of the project between key stakeholders with different perspectives and interest in the project. The charter is a useful tool for building team understanding of the project and for level setting any latecomers to a project. Version history. The charter is a collaborative document created through an iterative process. The project manager owns the responsibility to include the right resources to create a clear and comprehensive charter. This includes conducting one-on-one work sessions with the sponsor, stakeholders, and subject matter experts. This process builds shared agreement on scope and boundaries of a project. After capturing input from the sponsor and key stakeholder, incorporate their contribution in the charter and credit their feedback in the version history. Project definition. This section captures high-level project information. Describe the value of implementing the project. Make sure this is written in clear, concise business language. Define acronyms. Contact senior management if the project is not assigned a sponsor. Project goals and objectives. Create measurable goals and objectives against which the project can be evaluated. Tie these to the organizational strategies. Examples of measurable criteria include specific dates, % decrease in cost, % increase in system of time, specific headcount reductions. Each goal should have at least one objective. Project scope. Scope definition means defining the project boundaries, that is, what is included and excluded from the project. Scope definition is the foundation on which schedule, budget, and resource plans are built. There are several schools of thought on the level of details required for the scope in the charter. Typically, charter scope is defined at high level and refined during the planning stage when the scope statement is created. Our recommendation is, if you have the detailed deliverables, include them in the charter. It will make creating the scope statement much easier. Remember, if you do not get the scope right, the project will never be under control. Scope creep will be inevitable. To identify scope items, think about deliverables such as products, services, data, testing, training, documentation. Out of scope. Identify items that are not part of the project. This is especially important for gray areas. Failure to specify out-of-scope boundaries could cause confusion and scope creep. Critical success factors. They are a set of important activities that must be identified to measure the success of a project. They are typically tied to the organization's strategic direction. It also provides a mechanism for controlling changes. When changes surface, the team can analyze if the change impacts any of the critical success factors. This analysis will help the sponsor decide whether to authorize the change. Assumptions describe any dependencies that must be in place for the project to be successful. They are usually outside the control of the project team. Often, assumptions are identified at the start of the project and then forgotten. This is a problem because the underlying assumptions can change. When this happens, an assumption can become an issue or a risk. As the project moves into the planning stage, assumptions become input into the risk assessment process. Constraints. Project constraints are internal or external limitations that could impact the project's performance. They can be related to many factors, for example, scope, schedule, resources, technology, business, etc. Like assumptions, constraints are input into the risk assessment process. Risks. Risks represent uncertain events or conditions that could negatively impact a project. Project managers own the responsibility for assembling the right resources to identify, monitor, and implement measures to prevent the risk from affecting the success of the project. The risk identification process depends upon the size and the complexity of the project. Large, complex projects often require multiple meetings with cross-section of stakeholders, whereas small projects can identify risks in a couple of work sessions. To identify risk, think about these broad categories of risk and determine if the projects could be affected by anything in these areas, such as technical, organizational, environmental, external, and project management. High-level risks are identified in the charter. Once the planning stage begins, these risks are inputs into the risk assessment process. At this time, firstly, they are analyzed, including the probability of occurrence, impact, and priority. Secondly, they are logged in the risk register and monitored through the regular monitoring and control processes established during the planning stage. Funding source. The projects must have funding before proceeding. If there is no funding, stop the project and work with the sponsor and senior management to resolve. If there is inadequate funding, identify this as a risk and monitor it closely. In the above example, you will observe that the project manager has added comments regarding the need for incremental funding for the agencies. This will become a risk during the planning stage if it's not resolved. Milestones. Milestones are the products and services that will be delivered by the project. These milestones and their target dates will be refined during the planning stage. Schedule plan. Provide an order of magnitude estimate for the project. This will be refined during the planning stage. Be certain to include any related information that the sponsor and the senior management should know in the notes section. Portfolio or program management. Programs represent a collection of projects that benefit from being managed centrally. This is an optional section and is only required if it is a charter for a program or if the project is related to a program. Project structure. Projects are matrix structures. This means that the project team members have dual reporting responsibilities. In a matrix structure, project managers report to their functional manager and to the project sponsor, whereas the team members report to the project manager and their functional managers. Carefully defining the reporting relationship is essential for everyone to understand who reports to whom and for what. Pulling together different team members into a functional project team is a critical responsibility for the project manager. Building this team starts at the earliest stage of the project and continues throughout the life cycle of the project. Project governance. Project governance represents an integrated set of rules, roles, responsibilities, and assistance to help ensure project success. A governance framework is defined at the initiation of a project. It is then refined as the project moves through the life cycle stages and the needs of the project evolve. Although there are many factors that drive successful projects, it is clear that the combination of active governance structures and competent sponsors contribute to the overall success of a project. This section focuses on identifying the decision-making structures, policies, and escalation procedures required to support a project. If the project is large, a separate board of steering committee may be established. For smaller ITD projects, the sponsor will typically be a member of the project governance board. Resources, roles, and responsibilities. This is an opportunity to start identifying the type of resources you will need for the project. At this level, the project manager is identifying the role-based resources required to support the team. For example, 1 network engineer, 2 security analysts, etc. Resource requirements will be refined in the planning stage of the project. Formal approval. Securing formal approval is not an administrative step without value. This process ensures that the sponsor has read and agrees to the charter. It also begins to establish the shared accountability between the sponsor and the project manager for successfully delivering the project. You have now completed the charter course. Remember the following points. The charter is a project foundation. If you skip it, you and the team will pay heavily later. Build the charter by getting help from key stakeholders. Collaboration builds a better charter and a stronger team. Ensure that it is written in business language and is clear and measurable. Make sure the sponsor signs it. This underscores the shared responsibility and accountability. Critical thinking questions. The following scenarios are real-time examples from actual projects. Take a few minutes to think about how you would respond to each situation and write your responses. Remember, there is no single right answer.